What's up everyone, and welcome to Lowered Expectations. Thanks for lowering your expectations and hanging out with me here. I do appreciate it. In today's video, I'm going to be adding some angle iron support to the bottom of my CNC milling machine frame so that I can add some leveling feet. If you've seen the build video for my CNC milling machine frame, you will have noticed that all of the welding up to this point has been done up here at the front of my garage. In fact, all of the welding on my YouTube channel has been done up here at the front of my garage. And the reason for that is that I only have one 240 volt plug that is behind my oven that I use for powder coating. That's all about to change right now because Vevor has sent me this extension cord. This is a 240 volt 40 amp cord that is 25 feet long. It has 3 conductors inside of it at 8 gauge, which means I am going to be able to pull my welder all the way down to the other end of the shop instead of having to drag everything that I weld all the way up here. If you guys are interested in this cord or one of a different length or different gauge, there is an affiliate link in the description below as well as a discount code. Just a reminder, Vevor is having a Black Friday sale, and if you haven't been checking out their website, now would be a good time. I would also recommend registering your email address so that they can send you coupons and different offers. You can always unsubscribe at any time. If you're any kind of a handyman, I guarantee that you are going to find something on there that you want. Maybe that is a good thing or maybe it's bad. Anyway, go check out their website. Oh, and one last thing. If you do visit their website, I would appreciate it if you use one of my affiliate links below. That way they know I sent you. When I designed this in CAD, I wanted the top of the table to be 36 inches high and the milling table to be 8 inches higher than that. And that's part of the reason why I made the chip pan 8 inches tall, so that I could reach straight in and get to the table. I've since then decided that I actually want it quite a bit lower, and because the casters add 3.5 inches to the overall height, I am now going to be removing 10 inches from the leg. When I welded my table together, I wasn't terribly concerned about the bottom of it being perfectly true, and as a result, it is not perfectly true. So I'm actually going to use the angle iron to try to pull stuff back into shape a little bit. If we measure the top side of the table, well, underneath the top side of the table, it is 6 feet and 1/8 of an inch. And if we measure this piece, it is exactly 6 feet, I believe. Yeah, exactly 6 feet. We have about a 1/2 inch overhang here. So I need to figure out where that came from. Hopefully most of it came from down there, because that will be the easiest to correct. If I measure the distance across here, that is 22 inches. If I measure the distance here, that is exactly 22 inches. But if I measure it here, it is actually 21 7/8, something like that, 21 7/8. So I need to move it out 1/8 of an inch here. Again, if we measure here, the distance here is a foot, distance here is a foot, and the distance here is 11 7/8. So again, I've got to make 1/8 of an inch correction here, and then the rest of it is between that section. So I'm not sure how I'm going to push these apart. They're a whole lot easier to pull together. But I guess we'll figure that out as we go. I want this bottom frame to be pretty true, so I'm going to clamp some stuff together. And also the inside of this angle iron has a radius in it, which means it's going to get held out from the leg slightly. So I need to space this way so that it's accurate. And I'm going to clamp, yeah, just watch, and hopefully some of this makes sense to you. Because I'm pretty sure most people don't know what I'm talking about, I thought I would try to explain it with these 3 pieces of metal. Because the angle iron has a radius in the corner here, it will not sit flat against the pipe because the inside radius is actually going to hit the corner of the pipe and hold it out. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that there is a gap between there. Instead of just guessing at what that gap is, I'm actually going to clamp this 60 thousandths piece of material in there. I'm going to use a clamp to hold it together, and that way I know that this gap is going to be the same on all of the legs. Got my welder set a little bit on the high side. I'm gonna tack this together a little bit and yeah, see what happens. I'm not used to having the freedom of moving my welder around, so I'm like pulling on the cord trying to get extra. Silly Joel. This end is going to be quite a bit more difficult than the other, but I think we can handle it. Clamp that together. Clamp this together. The spacing between the table legs from the left to the right is about a ½ inch narrower than the tabletop itself. What I'm doing here is I have the table leg clamped to the angle iron, and I'm going to tap it into place before welding it out. Okay, we made it. Oh, that's stuck. Nice. Now we just need to repeat that on this corner. I'm not going to show you guys that because it's getting pretty repetitive. I've now used a series of straps to pull this into shape. The bottom here is 32 inches and it was almost 32 1/4 across the, well, it's upside down now, but between the bottom of the legs, it was a 1/4 inch wider. So I'm pulling this leg over with this strap, and then it's 27 3/4 from the top of the bench to the surface here. And here it was quite a bit more. I don't know what it was, but I've basically used the strap to pull it to length, and now I need to weld it in place before it moves and hope that I don't burn my straps. All right, I will weld it right here, just a tap. And here. Oh. I'm guessing that would be enough to hold it in place. See if we hear any cracking when we release these. That stayed down there. And go. Doesn't seem like it has moved, so now we can knock this piece out and get a bead on here. I was just looking for something in my shop and started thinking about how strange it is that less than a year ago I purchased a Vevor diesel heater and started doing a bunch of experiments on it. At that time, I had no intentions of collaborating with Vevor in any way. It was them who eventually reached out to me when they saw those diesel heater videos. So what made me think about Vevor and the heaters and all that is I was looking around the shop and I ended up seeing I've got a Vevor tubing bender that I purchased with my own money before I had any affiliation with them. I also have a rotary flex shaft tool in this corner. I've done a couple videos on that on my Joel Arsenault YouTube channel and on Lowered Expectations, and I purchased that with my own money before any affiliation with Vevor. And also up in a bin on that shelf out of sight, I've got a vacuum chamber and vacuum pump that I purchased from Vevor with my own money before I had any affiliation. And I was just thinking that it's been less than a year and it was the diesel heater that kind of made this channel into whatever it is. And since then, I've got an ultrasonic cleaner, a welder, another diesel heater, and a bunch of things, the roadside emergency kit. And it just struck me how weird it is that it was less than a year ago that I started doing those tests, and now it's turned into whatever this is. And I appreciate everyone for subscribing and liking the videos and getting involved in the comments. And I also appreciate Vevor for being part of this as well. Vevor sends me stuff because I draw attention to their website and I generate some sales. So if there's something that you think you might be interested in, whether it's a product that I'm promoting or not, feel free to go check out their website, browse around. They've got all sorts of interesting stuff. And like I've mentioned already several times, they have a Black Friday sale going on. If you sign up with your email address, they can send you coupons and different offers. And you can always unsubscribe at any time. It helps me out, and they do have all sorts of very interesting stuff. If you're bored, it's a worthwhile adventure to just go and look around at all the things they have. For an example, the other day I was looking around and I ended up finding a cylinder head for a Toyota 4Runner, and then a 2-barrel carburetor for another random vehicle, and then a heater for a sauna. Oh, no. Not sure how well the camera will pick this up due to the lighting, but I left myself a little extra material here. So I'm gonna cut that off and then grind a little groove in it just so I get good penetration in this joint, because there's basically just these 3 welds holding this together. Over on this side it fits flush, so what I'm gonna do is just use that disc to cut a little groove here, just again so I get good penetration in through this area. I'm a little bit disappointed that these welds aren't going to be seen by everybody, because they're probably some of the nicest welds I've ever done. I did a fair amount of prep work making sure that I had a nice place to lay the beads, but I did have to grind them off flat on the bottom because that's where we're going to be mounting our Vevor leveling caster feet. That just about does it for this part of the CNC milling machine build. I am really happy with the way the supports went on the frame, and I am really excited about moving on to the next part of this project, but that will be in another video. I feel a little bit silly for getting this excited about an extension cord, but it is one of those things where I worked without it for many years, dragging stuff to the front of the workshop, and now that I've used it, I really don't want to work without it. One of the things that I overlooked about having an extension cord that I could bring down to this end of the shop is that I can work by my overhead door, which means I can get extra light and extra ventilation. Over in the corner where I normally weld, the smoke had a tendency to gather even with my ventilation system on, and so this was much nicer. Once again, if you're watching this video between November 13th and November 27th, Vevor is having a Black Friday sale. I would absolutely recommend that you register your email address with them, and that way you can get notifications about coupons and different offers. Even if you're not interested in an extension cord, I would recommend going and checking out their website, as they have a ridiculous variety. It's really fun just to go and browse around on their site because of all the different things they have. If you're interested in picking up an extension cord, there is an affiliate link and a discount code in the description below. If you use that affiliate link, it helps me out as I get a small kickback, and you're going to end up with a good product. I tested this out while I was welding. I did some of the heaviest welds that I could on this frame, pointed my infrared thermometer at it, and it was 1 degree Celsius warmer than ambient objects. So it definitely didn't have any problem handling the welding I was doing. Of course, this was not a torture test, but it did work flawlessly. This really is a beautiful thing, folks, seeing my ideas come to life. At one point, this was just a CAD drawing on my computer, and one of the first CAD drawings that I've ever made. I designed the frame and this chip pan in CAD Fusion 360, and it has come to life. The closer I get to having an actual running CNC milling machine, the more excited I get. And yeah, we're gonna make this happen. Together we're gonna make this happen. In an attempt to keep this video a reasonable length, I have not shown fully welding out all of the joints that I tacked together in this video. But rest assured, my friends, I have fully welded out all of those areas. If you guys haven't heard, Vevor is having a Black Friday sale, November 13th to 27th. In all seriousness, I know I mentioned that a lot, but I really do appreciate Vevor's involvement in my channel. If you guys do happen to go browse the Vevor website, I would appreciate it very much if you use one of my affiliate links, even if it's not related to a product that you're interested in. Reason being, if you use an affiliate link, they know I sent you, and maybe they will send me some more cool stuff for testing. That'll make interesting content for you guys, and I know I will certainly enjoy it. That's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.